What is going on, guys? Jack here, and welcome back to episode 24 of Park to Prem, here with Towler Town. And well, look at this league table, everyone. Look how close this is at the top, and also note the fact we currently languish down in 6th. Yes, we have been off the pace as of late, although we do have 2 games in hand on a few of the teams around us. But yeah, we have a couple of games today, a double header. It's not been that long since you were last here, but we've got Gateshead today. They are the big team in this league, the team who, alongside ourselves, are really predicted to do great things. You can see predicted to finish second. They've got a few of the star players in the Dream 11, including Todd Drennan, their star striker. They've also got this guy, Callum Mullin, who apparently is quite good. At least he's listed as one of the key players in the league. So they've got 2 very good strikers. I'm going to get another scout report on this guy. Try and build up a bit more knowledge. Of course, we looked at Todd last time. He looks a little bit scary, but he's inconsistent and injury prone. We'll hope that he doesn't turn up for the match we have against them today. And yeah, today we've got the Gateshead game, and we're also going to be taking on Addons in the FA Cup second qualifying round. This is joint furthest that we've ever got in the FA Cup. We've not had a great run in this competition yet, and it's something that is so important with lower league saves, is to make something of the FA Cup. Addons, just to look at them quickly, are in the Hallmark Security League Northwest Premier. That is 2 leagues below us. We should absolutely be beating them, and beating them comfortably. Although you can see here, their media prediction is second, so they're not a bad team by any means. But since you were last here, of course, Radcliffe last time was perhaps the most disappointing live com of the series so far. We've played 3 matches, and 2 of them were actually in the FA Cup first round, where you can see here, we were taking on Barnoldswick, and it was a 1-1 draw to begin with, away from home, not ideal, but in the return leg in the midweek, a 1-0 victory for us. Ryan Ferguson getting the goal, yes. Great to see him get on the score sheet. He did pick up a little knock, which was a bit of an unfortunate thing. But in the first game against them, you can see the starting 11 here. It was the strong starting 11. I was just disgusted with how he played. So following on from that game, for the next game, we brought in the likes of Sonny Best, who had a very good performance, Ryan Ferguson, and Alex Evans even picked up Player of the Month, Player of the Game, Man of the Match. We'll get there eventually, God help me. We've got 2 games to get through today, folks. Who knows where we're going to end up? But yes, he had a very good appearance. And, well, a few of those players may have fought themselves into first-team contention down the line. Anyway, we took on Buxton in the league. A 3-1 win here. Jermaine Anderson getting 2 goals was the real highlight. He's really not performed for us in the first few years of him being at the club. I had such high hopes for him. He's an incredible player who, in this specific save, has just had an unfortunate run of injuries. But this year, maybe he's given us a taster of what to expect. He's played for us twice this year. Both games, he's got player of the match. So, more of that, please, Jermaine. And he will be on the bench for today's game. And yes, a good 3-1 win was needed, was fairly comfortable in the end, has set us up for today's games against Gateshead and Addons. You can see here, these games continuing to come thick and fast. I hate this fixture congestion. It does not suit us very well. The players you can actually see who have been left over highlighted here are the players who I've rested going into today's game. But you can see condition across the board, despite rests, still isn't 100% great. So, yeah, be aware of that. I'm looking at the fact that Boxall is done okay, and Warrington hasn't done too well either. And I'm sat there wondering, do we move Boxall to playmaker and then bring in Jermaine Anderson? Could we give Alex Bradley a run at right centre mid? Would it be a brave call to swap our 2 centre mids around? Would it be stupid? I mean, looking at Alex Bradley here, very, very well-rounded centre mid, has recently signed a new contract with us on £75 a week. We're laughing. But yeah, I'm just wondering, with him and Jermaine Anderson, it would probably make more sense to have Anderson be the more defensive player, especially when you look at them head-to-head like that. But you know what? We're going to mix it up in the centre of the midfield for this game against Gateshead. I feel like something's got to give. In their recent games, they've got better, to be fair to them. But even then, I'm not wowed by them. I'm now doubting myself. I'm going to be honest. I just feel like Jermaine Anderson's in good form. Bradley's looked pretty good. We've not really given him enough starts. But in the last 5 games, they have got better. I say that. Last game, 6.7 and 6.8. You know what? My mind is made up. Bradley, Anderson, you're getting game time today. The back 4 remains the norm, I guess, at this point. We've got Jackson, who has established himself well back into the first team, of course. Hopefully one of many players who will come back. I have been keeping a short list, which we can look at here. of former players. Yes, I keep an eye on all our former men. I should probably scout some of them a little bit more, but you know, I dream of the day that the likes of Deshaun Bernard might want to come and rejoin us from Stockport, although that might be a little way off. You can see a few of the other various players here. If you're wondering where certain players are at, Haygoff is still at Wrexham, Stanley is still at Bristol. If we look at players by value, the most valuable player is Mr. International, who's transfer listed. Why is he transfer listed after one game? The club do not... They've only just signed him. Can we loan him? Can we loan him, Salford? Can I get... Mr. International might come home. I can't pay all his wages, but I'll pay him £450 a week, sure. We don't have the budget for that technically, but I can shuffle some money around to free up the available wage budget. Oh, I have to do that, don't I? We need to bring him home. Also, James Norris. The issue is that these players probably don't want to come back to us. The client isn't interested in negotiating a move. I did not pay attention to if Mr. International was interested in coming back to us. Are we like a favourite personnel or favourite club? Favourite club and favourite personnel. I mean, he may well have said that he's not interested in coming back, but I am going to get my hopes up. I am ready to be hurt. But yes, I mean, that would be huge for our defence. We need some defenders. If Mr. International returns less than... Well, it would be 2 or 3 months after he left. It would be a little awkward, but we'd make it work. But right, Gateshead. Let's think about the starting 11 again. Anyway, as I was saying at the back, Midgley's settled in fairly well at left back, and Rhodey and Parks. Rodri. Maybe I should just call him Rhodey. I'm going to set a nickname of Rodri, just because we're not calling him Sirotto or Carotto. I'm just calling him Rodri. It's a more catchy name. He's like a Brazilian, except he's from Wales. Maybe it'll catch on. You know, all Welsh players across the lands will start going with single names. Anyway, the rest of the team, we've got Wellens out on the right, still persisting with him. I believe one day he's going to forgive me. He's going to start to put in performances. Harrison's done pretty well on the left, has stepped up a little bit as of late. And, up top, we're going to go with Rose, but we're going to play him as a pressing forward rather than as a poacher, just because I feel like he's quite well suited to play as a pressing forward. Great work rate, really good physicals on the whole. Let's make the most of that. And, sometimes it's nice to mix things up and catch teams out. But anyway, let's get into this. We're taking on Gateshead. This is not going to be easy. They are very good going forward. They have scored the most goals in this league. They have comfortably the best goal difference. They are currently in second. A loss here, even with a couple of games in hand, would be nothing short of disastrous. And given our patchy form, it would be fair to say, and our inability to be consistently turning up, this would just be the perfect game for us to set the record straight, smash them 4-0, and really stake our claim as, one of the teams who should be tipped for promotion this year. Anyway, Bradley whips it in. Stewart has got to keep that down. In the first minute, a golden opportunity falls our way, and Leighton Stewart smashes it over. Good to see Bradley having an immediate impact. Questionable marking there by Midgley at left back, it's got to be said. And Gateshead finding space out wide, and Flanagan has hit the woodwork. Wow, that's a warning shot in our direction. You can see here they've had an injury after 8 minutes. They've got Drennan playing up top on his own in a 4-2-3-1. And Harker going to build from the back. I'm curious to see how hard Gateshead press here. It does look like they're wanting to put a bit of pressure on our back line. Big pressure on Jermaine Anderson and Bradley. Maybe unnecessarily so. Maybe I've piled it on myself, but I want to see what they're made of today. We've not looked good enough in the centre of the midfield. Macaulay Power has not been replaced. Oh my gosh. What a goal that is. Can I pat myself on the back for that goal? I'm doing it. You can't stop me. This isn't a live stream. It's already happened at the time of listening to it. Look at this build-up play. This is what I dream of. This is what I close my eyes and envision. Oh, I love that one-touch play. And then the effort by Akeem Rose. It's not exactly hit by Power, but he directs it well into the bottom corner. We get our noses ahead, and I'm absolutely loving it. Hopefully, we can take a bit of momentum here. Akeem Rose, maybe we just need to play him as a pressing forward on attack. Maybe that's how you unlock his potential. Let's not get too carried away yet. We need to defend in this game. Flanagan burns past his man, smashes it over. You can see early on in this game, Gateshead not having a great deal of the play. Having a fair share of possession, but not creating enough. Maybe I'm just jinxing it here as they're now in possession of it. Although we block that well. Jermaine Anderson win that foot race. He does win it. Can he thread through Akeem Rose, who's desperately making a run on ahead? Ball switched actually really intelligently to Jackson at right back. He crosses it in. It's headed away quite well by Gateshead. They may look to hit us on the break, although Harrison just persists, and Stewart's header at the back post was not far over. That was just a dogged effort by a number of players getting onto those loose balls first. Unfortunately, that effort that they put in didn't really amount to a great deal. You can see Jackson and Anderson on bookings is, well, maybe a little bit concerning. We'll have to keep an eye on that. I did notice their player condition isn't looking as good as ours. The fixture congestion isn't only affecting us, although that ball is superb. Stewart, you're clean through. Please finish this. Please finish this. He's hit it straight at the keeper. I say that, actually, the keeper's made an incredible save down to his left. But that was a great opportunity just before half-time to make it 2-0, to give us that breathing room, and Rose's header is going to go wide. But on the balance of the play, from what we've seen so far, we appear to be the team in control, but we need to get that second goal. We need to kill off this game. And yeah, Gateshead have come forward with the ball. Please don't be a red card. The commentator said that didn't look like a foul. This kind of highlight just screams pointless red card to me. I desperately hope it's just a free kick in a wide area, but I am scared. Don't do it to me, game. I'm gonna have a moment. I hope that's okay. What do I do now? I guess we just change things up. What role can Wellens? Wellens can play centre mid, but what role do you play him in? Maybe advanced playmaker? He's actually quite a good advanced playmaker on attack. I'm going to tell our wing backs just to stay on support now. We have to reevaluate things here. Let's not counter press. Let's try and. We don't need to distribute it short either. We're going to look to hit the team on the break now. Don't look for the overlap. Work it through the middle, quite direct, I feel like, at this point. I'm scared about Anderson and Jackson being on bookings now. I'm sat thinking, Bradley, maybe we change you to a centre mid on defend. How good is he? He's not incredible defensively, but I'm scared of Jermaine Anderson just doing something stupid in this game now. I guess we tell him to ease off tackles. Just don't do anything stupid in this game for us. I'm also going to change Rose to a supporting pressing forward just to drop in. Man, this is going to be a tall order now, folks. I'm thinking back to the FA Cup game that we had. I think it was against Bromley a couple of years ago. There was an FA Cup game. I can't remember for sure, but we had a sending off at this kind of stage. We were 1-0 up in that game, if I remember correctly. Maybe even been just last year. And I changed things not very well. And this has been the change that I've made when we have had sendings off. Although our discipline on the whole has been very, very solid here. If we can come away with a draw now, I feel like that has to be considered a W. We will consider that a win if we can hold on. I'm still on attacking here. Do I want to change it? You know what? Let's go cautious. They've got another highlight, though, which scares me. And we just let it bounce in the box. Rodri, what are you doing, mate? Drennan scores. That's annoying. It's the way it bounces in the box. You just can't let the ball bounce in the box there. It's just, I think it's Rodri and Parks. They're like a crime-stopping duo in the centre of our defence. But, well, right there they looked a bit like... I'm trying to think of an iconic duo. I can't think of an... Anton Deck. They look like Anton Deck. That's not a good analogy. But Rodri and Parks. They do sound like a crime-fighting duo, don't they? It's not just me. Anyway, we need to defend this here. Jackson heads it out. Only as far as Daly. Now with turns. Daly hits it. Oh my word. Get it out. That is an interesting header. Second ball's not been dealt with. Drennan. Harker holds on to this one. Right, we have Anderson, who's not played very well this game after everything. So I'm going to bring in Boxall for his set pieces as much as anything. I do have one more sub. In fact, no, I have two more subs in my back pocket. Wellens, you've not played well. I'm going to bring in Warrington. See what he can do. Due to personalised instructions, he's been switched to a deep line playmaker. I want him on advanced playmaker. One last sub. You know what? Leighton Stewart, you've not been good enough today. Voltman, show us what you can do. It's been all Gateshead in this second half, hasn't it? I don't think we've actually had a highlight in the second half, and they've had a decent few, and they're bringing the ball forward here. Maybe we're defending too narrowly. I feel like our wider centre mids need to be just slightly more spread out to help us defend. We may change that, although it may be inconsequential. I may be noticing it too little, too late, as they're just having so much of the ball now. They're bullying us, pulling us wide here. Baldington Boxall's header is not a good defensive header in truth. Straight to the Gateshead centre mids, and the pressure resumes. Turns with it, crosses it in. Drennan, I mean, there you go. That's why he's the best striker in the league, isn't it? Oh, that's a gut punch, because we should have been ahead. We should have been ahead. Right, tactics. Wingbacks, attack, please. Out of possession, wide. We need to play wider. I mean, the issue is now that we have to counter press. We have to push hard. Distribute it quickly and just lump it long, please, keeper. 13 minutes, down a man. I don't want to say a win feels unlikely at this point, but it does feel a little unlikely, and it falls on the shoulders of one man, and his name is Harrison. There's no two ways about it. Bradley, weak in the tackle there. Harker holds onto it to keep us in touching distance, but man, am I allowed to feel just let down and a bit annoyed? This is such a big game for us. We were ahead in it. We were controlling the game too. And the fixture just completely turned on that sending off. If we could somehow get a draw here, it would be an absolute miracle. I'm not expecting it. I'm half expecting them to grab another because, to be frank, when you're down to 10 men and you just play on attack, you're in trouble. Although Voltman, don't give me hope, game. Voltman, what a run this is. He hits it. The keeper holds on to it. It was never quite there. He never quite got away from the defence. And in the end, I mean, it finishes 2-1 to Gateshead. Boys, I'm not happy. I'm just disappointed. Did the sending off come after that chance just before half-time? It did, didn't it? Imagine how different the game is on that result. We now trail Gateshead by 6 points. We have a game in hand, but even if we win it, we can only go as high as 4th, and Radcliffe also have a game in hand. Obviously, things will start to steady themselves out, I guess, as games kind of get more even. I'm going to fine Harrison 2 weeks' wages. I'm absolutely disgusted. Mr. International, I would love you to come and join us. The return of a legend, perhaps. Told that he's got no future at League 2 Salford. Come home. He's only been gone a few months. When did he officially leave us? I'm curious now. He left us officially on the 9th of July, and it's now the 14th of September. So he's been gone just over 2 months, which is quite funny. We've been drawn against Bury Town, which is interesting. We're going to be taking them on in the Alan Turvey Cup. I don't know anything about the Alan Turvey Cup. I assume it's a cup competition for teams in the north. So if anyone has any information, please do let me know. I'm sure the person, Alan Turvey, who the cup is named after, is probably quite some character who perhaps led, quite an interesting life. So if anyone's got any interesting information on him, I'd be very curious to know. I feel like you've got to have achieved something or done something very, very good to have a cup competition named after you. So, yeah, forgive my ignorance, but if anyone wants to give myself and any other viewers a little bit of a history lesson in the comments, that would be cool. And, well, we're going to go straight into the Padiham game. I'm that annoyed. I was thinking I might go away and get a drink and compose myself and come back after a brief pause. No, I'm mashing continue. I want to get to this next game. I'm very annoyed with the nature in which we've lost that game. I think is the most disappointing thing. Oh no. I mean, I feel betrayed. As I said, you probably saw that when I made the loan offer that he wasn't very interested, but I wanted to believe. Charlie Wellens apparently hasn't been doing it in training. Let's get shouty. Isaiah Jones, apparently you've been doing it in training. He's been bringing the goods. A player who hasn't really done it on the pitch yet, Isaiah. A player who we signed from Middlesbrough, was released from them last year. He's had a few appearances on off the bench and a couple of starts, but he's not wowed me yet. There's not been much wooing or wowing so far. Let's have a quick look. I have still got my shortlist, by the way, of players whose contracts expired in the summer going, because some of these players have still not signed for other clubs. You can see there's a few players here when I untick who have very, very high ratings, who are either, you know, well, I mean, some of them have been signed, but many of them have not been signed. For example, Callum Nickel, I think we've talked about this guy before. He'd be a sick signing, not interested in joining right now. Max Sheaf would probably be a very good signing as well. Age 22, formerly of Middlesbrough. Was actually playing in League 2 last year. Also, Middlesbrough are in League 1. What has happened to them? What has happened to them? Their media prediction was first. They're currently in 5th. Also, they've got a player with no face. I mean, that's maybe why they're struggling. They've got so much money in the bank, I noticed there. Right, anyway. FA Cup, second qualifying round. Harrison is suspended. I was going to drop him anyway. You know what? You know what, Isaiah? I'm giving you the chance today. And you know what? Sonny Best, come on for Wellens. Wellens has not been good enough. I'm going to go with our normal centre mids of Boxall and Warrington in the centre and see if they can perhaps step it up. Leighton Stewart's been poor in his last 5 games, so we'll bring in Voltman for him, I think, as well. I feel like I'm making a load of controversial changes here, but it almost feels necessary given our recent form. Rodri is struggling for fitness, so I'm going to take him off for Alex Evans, who's been looking good. And you know what? We'll bring in Pruddy as well. We'll give Parks and Rodri just a little bit of a break. I've been calling him Rodri. It's Rody. Or is it Rodri? Rody? Rodri? I don't know. Why not both? Rod. Do I want to change the fullbacks? You know what? I think I do. This might turn out to be a massive misplay, but I need to give players like David Connolly a chance to prove himself at right back. Do I have a left back? We have Josh Barnes. Of course we have a left back. We signed him from Nottingham Forest for this very purpose, although we do also have Brooks, but he's injured at the moment. I really like Andre Brooks, but he's been a little unfortunate this year. Hasn't really made much of an impact on off the bench and has been injured now in a period where I probably would have liked to have used him a little bit. Anyway, Rodri is not playing. It's Rodri Parks, Jack. Why did I think it was Rody for a second? I don't know. I think that I'm not taking the Gateshead result well, folks, I think is the bottom line. Emotionally, I'm frazzled. I've basically torn up the rule book. We've rotated half the squad. We're taking on Panium, who are 2 divisions below us. I guess technically the game against Gateshead was more entertaining than, you know, the game last time out against Radcliffe, but not perhaps for the right reasons. As the ball's whipped in here, Halley, I mean, it's a good stop by Harker. Was straight at him. That's a bit of a let-off and a little bit of a concern to start, isn't it? Now they've got a free kick. Franklin to hit it. Harker, again called into action, makes a nice save just to turn it around the post. Credit as well to Padiham. They've brought their fans out in massive numbers. I have noticed that in the FA Cup, attendances seem to be way higher. I think that's probably because of the competition's reputation means that more fans come. Oh, that's a lovely flick on. That's a lovely goal. I mean, Akeem Rose, in what has been a pretty miserable episode, is giving us silver linings with some of this finishing. What a lovely little goal that was. Harker to Max Voltman, well, to Pruddy, via Pruddy. Voltman, though, leaps well, nods it on, and then Rose, first time. He's a bit of a first-time shot specialist from outside the box, it would appear. That's another for his collection. The worst thing possible here is that we draw this and then we have to play another game against them, and I would feel inclined to do it as part of this video. I realise now in saying that, you've now gone down to the bottom of the video to check how long the video is. If you're sat there going, oh, there's not a replay, don't turn off. Maybe we'll do the replay next time, maybe. Can't confirm nor deny. Or maybe we're just going to lose outright, because I wouldn't put it past us. I feel like it's necessary to click on Sonny Best, just so he's permanently highlighted so you can easily track what he's doing. Oh my word. Oh my word. I mean, Warrington and Boxall have gone there and mugged me off a little bit, haven't they? They've gone, you dropped us from the last game, the biggest game of the year, and you decided not to play us. This is what you missed out on, Gaffer. Warrington lays it off. Boxall, bang. First time. Almost looked like he toe punted it into the top corner. And for the first time this episode, I actually have a smile on my face. I'm actually enjoying myself. We've not had players poached away. Mr. International's rejected us, which has upset me a little bit. Now I've remembered that's happened. Now I'm sad again. But there's a reason for optimism here. I know in the last couple of live comms we've struggled, against was it Ramsdale? I can't remember the place's name now. Radcliffe. Where's Ramsdale? Is that a place? Am I making places up? Quite possibly. But no, against Radcliffe and against Gateshead, we've been really, really just disappointing. We've just not been good enough. And it's annoying because we've had lots of games like this one where we do actually play some really nice football and score some really nice goals. But then I come back for the live comms against the better teams and we just struggle. Also, Akeem Rose, I've never seen a player do that in Football Manager. That is rare as a unicorn. He's just squared the ball. He's just sweated it. If I was playing FIFA, I'd be disgusted at my opposition doing that. In Football Manager, I'm just gobsmacked. He's actually squared the ball in a one-on-one, in a logical way, and we've scored from it. I'll take that. It's 3-0. Who needs Leighton Stewart or Kumwenda? We don't. We've got these. I didn't talk about that. Kumwenda is out for 2 months, obviously. That's another factor that I think probably impacted us against Gateshead. He is our best performer in the team by a country mile as well. Anyway, look at this. We're taking our goal kicks, but we've got players in the penalty area because it's the 2020s now, and you're allowed to do that in football. Burton bringing it forward, hits it. I mean, that's not a good effort, is it? I feel like this game is done. I'm feeling relaxed, everyone. It's a rarity for me these days, but the rotated 11 have done the business, and it's a bit... maybe I'm talking prematurely here, but it feels like they've done the business, and that's going to help because fitness has been a concern. We've had a few injuries that we've picked up, probably 3 players being overexerted in truth. We've got games, midweek and every weekend pretty much for the entirety of this month and next. So our ability to lean on our second string like this and for them to perform as well as they have here, as Akeem Rose doesn't square it this time, is just really, really nice. I would love to go on an FA Cup run, of course. Lovely header. Sonny Best with the assist as well. Take note, maybe I need to start playing him in the league. Maybe that might be worth experimenting with now I think about it. But no, this is the second qualifying round of the FA Cup. There's still a third round and a fourth round before the first round where the Football League teams go in. I don't know who we're going to get in the next tie. We may come back for it, we may not. I feel like the FA Cup is a long and arduous run. And it's not until you start getting the big boys, a few of the Football League teams, that you can really start to get a little carried away and a little bit excited about the prospect of it all. Voltman should get there, does get there. Is that 5? I'm losing count. I'm going to need to get my second hand out of my pocket in a second. Ball whipped in by Lewis Warrington again. He's got another assist. I mean, here's the thing, right? You now look at Warrington pulling out passes like that and go, why did you not play him against Gateshead? I want to believe that it was the fact he was dropped from that game has spurred him on, has made him realise, actually, I've not been playing well enough. Akeem Rose, thread through Voltman. Go on. Parting of the seas is made. Voltman, please finish that. That was a little bit Leighton Stewart-esque, that 1v1 that he's fluffed. It should have been 6. We beat Horsham 9-0. It would take quite a turnaround, I feel like, to get another 4 in this game before it's up. But from the looks of it, we're quite content going forward further. I'm going to bring in Julian Clarence, I think, for Sonny Best, which may prove controversial, but I need to give this guy opportunities because he's 18 years old, an incredible young prospect. Look at the yellow there on the physicals and mentals. With that leadership, that work rate, with that determination, captain in the making, perhaps. He needs game time. Isaiah Jones hasn't wowed me either. I'm going to bring in Welland. I'm also going to bring in Chianya, who has not played a great deal. We'll bring him on for Josh Barnes at left back. I feel like at this point I can just bring on some players who need some token first team football, need just a game or two just to give them a little bit of confidence, let them know they're wanted. As Evans puts that out, that's been put through a car windshield there. He's absolutely hammered that out of the stadium. Completely unnecessary, but I completely respect it. Boxall teaming up. Who did he team up with there? Welland. Interesting to see Welland's putting in a defensive shift. Ball whipped in. That looked offside. It is offside. I could be a linesman. Part of me wishes I had a linesman's flag. I could probably get one off Amazon or buy it online. Just think of the intros we could do with a linesman's flag. I mean, maybe don't think about those. Boxall, have another go. Oh my god, he almost scored again. He's hit the crossbar. It's almost gone flying out the stadium off the crossbar. He's hit it that cleanly. He's now over the corner. Dinks it in. Was that a foul in the middle? Apparently it was. Voltman's going to take the penalty. No, he's not. Harker's taking the penalty. The blood's gone to my head. I changed the penalty taker. This game's a disgrace. Voltman, you've ignored your manager, and I'm not very happy about it, mate. If I say Harker's taking the penalty, you are meant to let Harker take that penalty, my son. I mean, fair play to you for scoring it. Is it because it was his hat-trick? It's because it was his hat-trick, so it just overrides my command. That feels like an oversight. Sort it out, SI. 6-0 though. We'll take that. Very happy, boys. Clean sheet, 6 goals. Now, please, can we start doing that in the league? That would be the cherry on top if we could start doing it in the league. Gateshead won in the league, which is disappointing. Anya makes his return to English football. We get £9,000 for winning that. I didn't realise it was quite so much. What do we get for the next round? £16,000 if we win it. And the fourth round, £27,000, folks. I mean, at that point, you start to get a little bit excited because for us, that's pretty good money. I now kind of want an easy draw for the next round. Another team from a division below us would be ideal. Then I would feel less inclined to do it as a live com. But the Vanarama national teams, to my knowledge, are in it. We've also bagged our National A licence, folks. Shall we see what that's done for our tributes? I'm excited. Let's have a look. Oh, look at the 8s. Look at the 8s. Also, my management and motivating have gone up to 9. We're seeing some blue on my profile. I never thought I'd see the day. Can I ask for another coaching course? Can we do Continental C? Oh, Sandra, you know how to please a man. Thank you very much. Continental C. I mean, it's not that expensive actually, but when half of your staff are better qualified than you are, it's usually advisable to get a few more qualifications. But yes, that's going to be another string to our bow for that licence. And now we have the FA Cup third round. So as I said, ideally, let's avoid one of the big boys. Draw all teams. I'm just going to mash it, and we're going to get Marine, who are in our league, who are currently 20th. Okay, I feel confident. Or Bedlington. Now, you might remember them from our first ever season. They got promoted with us, finishing second. Since then, they've had a 4th place and a 5th place finish, and they're currently 4th in their league. So I'm quite happy with that tie. We've already played Marine this year, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we beat them 3-2 with our rotated 11. So I don't think we'll do that whenever that fixture is penciled into our schedule. Instead, we'll go full steam ahead with the league. Obviously, last episode was only a matter of weeks ago. So I feel like right now, the main thing's got to be just focusing on the task at hand ahead. When is the third qualifying round going to be played? Can we see that anywhere? Start date is at the start of October. Maybe we'll come back for that. That feels a little unlikely. It's still a little way away. We have got Blythe Spartans, who are currently in 5th, which could end up being a huge tie. Altrincham in 13th, Matlock in 8th. I feel like we've played most of the teams around. So we've got Morpeth at the end of the month, who are 2nd, but I mean, they are quite good, but I don't want to come back so soon. So we won't do that Morpeth game. I know that's going to prove controversial, but I want to get more into the season, you know? But this is going to be an interesting one. With that defeat against Gateshead, let's just look at things here. We are, for the first time ever in this series, I genuinely am not convinced that we can win the league that we are in. We've been such strong starters, and now it's going to really be a test, I guess, to see how we battle back, albeit with a game or two in hand on teams around us. But anyway, guys, that's going to wrap up everything from me today. I hope you enjoyed the doubleheader. I know that they prove popular. It ends up being a longer video. Sometimes nice to hear some ramblings and just see some stuff that happens between games. I know that. Yeah, other than that, if you've enjoyed this, want to see more, drop a like on it. Gives me a good idea of what you guys like and what you don't like. And that is going to be all from me, I think. I'll catch you next time. It is me, Jack, and I will talk to you guys in a bit. I'm out.